Monk. Oh boy, this is going to be a rough one for both Dexter and Monk, because both of these guys are uniquely suited to make each other's lives an absolute living hell. Monk is like a human computer for crime solving, but he's not that way because of his brilliant mind in the same way someone like Sherlock Holmes is. Monk is that way because of his clinical pathology. He has severe obsessive-compulsive personality disorder, and a laundry list of phobias and compulsions give him a laser focus for even the slightest inconsistency in the evidence he examines or the crime scenes he investigates. Monk isn't a great detective because he's smart. He's a great detective because he literally cannot help himself. This is a man that sorts his garbage by color and food group, and has nightmares about being buried alive under trash bags, which right off the bat is going to cause him some problems considering the bulk of the evidence in the Bay Harbor Butcher case is literally body parts in a mountain of trash bags. Despite this, Monk's obsessive-compulsiveness is going to work against Dexter in a pretty significant way, because Monk's obsessive powers of observation means he'll be double and triple checking every piece of evidence, including Dexter's blood reports, for inconsistencies, and Monk will find them. So Dexter may be able to excuse away one or two of the inconsistency Monk finds as human error, but then Dexter won't be able to rely on falsifying evidence or crime scenes like he usually does, which is a big problem. Also, the scattered chunks and bones of the Bay Harbor victims are very much going to appear like a very messy, unfinished puzzle to Monk, so he'll probably have the victims' remains perfectly matched and categorized by himself in half the time Lundy's task force does on the original story. In a morbid way, Monk will probably even recognize and partially admire the neatness and exactness of how the bodies were disposed of. The one advantage Dexter has with Monk, however, is Monk is more socially awkward and behaves less like a human being than Dexter does. Monk is good with evidence, not people, so Monk does not pick up anything odd at all about Dexter's personality. But for what Monk lacks in social intuition, he makes up for with his remarkable eye for detail. Obsessed with figuring out the connection between the victims, it won't take Monk hardly any time at all to start seeing the serial killer connection. And this is where Monk's investigation hits its first emotional obstacle. The only time Monk is good with people is when consoling and promising to deliver justice to the victims of surviving family members. Because despite his social weirdness and compulsions, Adrian Monk is a deeply empathetic person within the context of the victimized. Monk himself lost his wife to murder, so Monk fully understands the emotional turmoil and compulsive need for justice that only a grieving widow can understand. But in this case, Monk is going to be quite thrown by what he finds. The conclusion that Monk comes